get it.
Up, everybody?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Kid Boogie, Mighty Zulu Kings.
First, much love to everyone out there watching and supporting. Once again, this is still developing, so we're still finding exactly where we want to go with it.
Yeah, the right formula.
Exactly, man. That's what it's about right there.
Yeah.
We're gonna test different things out, So, we're gonna have interviews. Sometimes we're just gonna talk, and you're gonna see it just, us going. We do it all the time, We reminisce. We've been in this game for a long, long time, and
Oh yeah,
it's dope. It's dope. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch another legendary battle. This
battle's dope, man. I used to watch this shit all the time when I first started popping.
What really needs to be understood was that popping, and it's so dope, bro, because you brought back a lot of OGs that haven't been able to tell these stories, and I forgot which one because you brought back so many, but about how popping wasn't really popping didn't have a battle, like content battle, like battles the way we know battles. Where it was performances and showcases.
Yeah, I kind of want to say that was Cobra.
Yes, it was probably Cobra, and it's so true. So a battle like this was crazy to see, and especially another thing that wasn't really going on was super crews, where like people that formulated this crew of just dope dancers. Like everyone was still representing their hometown crew, you know. So to have all these people battle each other at this time for poppers, because it was at a b-boy jam. It was at Freestyle Sessions, Freestyle Sessions Japan.
Not only that, it was all the way in Japan too. It's crazy.
All the way in Japan, and at that time too, to have like popping overseas like that, and it not just be the electric boogaloos, because they're kind of opened that door. It was amazing, and the thing too is that you don't know it's coming.
Yeah.
If you're not like friends with them. And if you're not on like forums, which were also rare, you
only heard through the grapevine, like, yo, did you
buy this tape? You have to buy this tape. Yo, buy the Freestyle Sessions Japan tape. There's a battle on it, U.S.A. versus Japan, and maybe they knew a popper or two, but like, yo, there's poppers, like what? Like, okay, like especially for me, right? I'm like 13 or 12 at the time, so like for you guys already were in that journey where maybe you met a couple of them, but for like me and Rock Swift, it was like, okay, like my pops was like, okay, like let's see who these poppers are, and like he's like, okay, I recognize one or two, and then the rest was just like, we're like, damn, these people are amazing, but we didn't really know who they were because we weren't connected.
I definitely, before that battle, I for sure met Boppin Andre at Homeland, and I've met Junior and Legend.
That's it. Yeah, see, like
and Bionic Man was in there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Bionic Man.
Bionic Man's in that battle, and see, like, and my close friends know this. Like, me and Rock Swift, we didn't really have athletes or quote unquote celebrities we looked up to. These were the people that were our celebrities. So it was just like to maybe one day meet them was like crazy for us at the time because of how much we were just in the culture, of hip hop, popping and all that. So yeah, we're gonna watch it. The battle's USA versus Japan, Freestyle Sessions. I have the tape. I don't know which one it is. I have the tape. I don't know which one it was, but this got big. It's on Freestyle Sessions Japan, but it's just b-boy battles, and this is a showcase battle. So back to the point where like it's so amazing, because there wasn't a lot of battles like that. It was like maybe one-on-ones, but a crew battle, like especially a country versus a country, because the b-boys always did it. So for the poppers, it was like, and at the time too, a lot of the Japanese ones, I don't know if they were you could say they're OGs or like maybe they're.
No, there's bro, it's crazy because every single one of them in that team is OGs except for Aki. Aki's a young one back then.
You see, like, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's
Boppin Andre.
Back in the day, this is something you talk.
1000% underground.
This is something you saw in all the videos.
Yeah.
And this is how you found out about another jam. There's a flyer on a video you're about to watch, and you're like, when's the date? Oh, damn, I missed it. What we got there?
That's Wild Cherry, bro. He's OG.
No, yeah. Now I know who they are. Now I know who they all are. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Wild Cherry. He was one of the nicest guys, bro. I got to dance with him and like do shows with this guy.
Really?
When I was going to Japan, I got to meet him, and actually, I know his son really well. His son's name is Shibumi. He lives out here in California now, and yeah, man.
Does he pop?
Good dude right there, Wild Cherry. That was actually Skeeter Rabbit's first student in Japan.
Does Wild Cherry's son pop?
Nah.
Dang, but
that'd have been dope though.
Yeah, I'm sure he got a hit in him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he
or like our old man, you know. And for me and Rock Swift, Wild Cherries was the dopest on their side.
Yeah,
we didn't know who he was, and we're like, his name's Wild Cherries. Like, what the hell? Like especially in Cali, like the names were never like that. Like everyone's names were all hard. And he's wearing all red.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that funk. Looking fresh. Look how he's dressed.
It's Boppin Andre, bro. Come on, Andre, do something.
Bro, this is
look at Andre,
this round.
Yeah, this round is crazy from Andre.
If you watched this when it came out, you try to do what he did to this round to that song. Like you're like, let me see if I could like even come close. Look at this. And he knew it. He knew it. Look at that. Look at how straight. Look at the lines.
I know, bro. It's so solid.
Boom. That right there, bro. That right there shows you what popping's like, just our art form, because there's so many different, names for everything.
So clean, bro.
It's like
fucking solid. That was a solid round.
It's like the music's waiting for him.
In my honest opinion, like the recent solos that I've seen of Andre, bro, I wish he had that solidness that he had back then. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure he still has it, but I don't think when he dances now, I don't think that's what he wants to put out. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And I think that happens with a lot of dancers, especially like when you're of that caliber. Like you do it so long, and the scene is unforgiving. They forget that you're human, and then you just lose that. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but like even for myself, I'm like not even close to what Boppin Andre is in terms of like what he's contributed with the dance. But like, there's even times where just you lose that. Like it's a thing that, especially when you come from his era, you get around people you liked. You did around people who made you feel good.
Yeah.
After a while, like you're just there, and you don't know if people like you, and you don't like really know where you stand sometimes, and that energy could throw everything off. And then so like here, I don't know if he did or not, but it looks like this is him. Like he's loving it. He's in Japan. He's fucking just like, look at that.
This little arm swivel thing with the feet. Watch, rewind it.
Boom, look at that. Bounce that pass off. Boom.
Yeah. Right here. I don't even know what to call that, bro. It's crazy.
No, it's ridiculous. Look at that.
heavy ass, bro.
Is he wearing like house slippers?
I don't know.
No, if he is, that's even more gangster. Look at that. It just feels like it's making that sound because of him.
Yeah.
That's his groove.
Wow.
Would you say that's more of like a traditional book style?
No, that's Scarecrow. One thing I like about Tetsu-G, bro, is out of anybody, I kind of want to say out of all the people that I've met around the world, he is definitely a true Skeeter Rabbit student. Because even the way he just hits those angles is like, that's Skeet. You know what I mean? And he's taking everything that Skeet taught him and like, he's just taking it and made it himself, bro. Like that's Scarecrow. Like that's that Skeeter Rabbit Scarecrow. That's dope, man.
No, that's super dope, and that's like even man, like I'm gonna learn so much too, and I know if I'm learning stuff, like a lot of people are gonna be learning because like since I was born into the culture, like and I was born into a certain style, you know.
Yeah.
So like a lot of that history is not that we didn't want to learn it; it's just that we had so much of our own history that we were learning that like even like this when I seen this for the first time, I remember being a kid like, and I was like, well. That's like how the Electric Boogaloos dance. Like, why is he dancing like that? Because I was so used to everyone having their own style. Like, and growing up in LA, especially in the 818, like, I don't know. It was just way different the way the mentality, even within street dancers in Los Angeles. I could speak for where I'm from, you know. So,
Yeah.
it was so different. So when I saw that, I'm like, wait, like, why is he dancing like them? You know?
Yeah.
But we weren't really taught that, like, oh, okay, you know, this is someone who appreciates the culture, who's learning. Like, you know, we were just like, doesn't everyone know about pop locking? Like, doesn't everyone like know that you know what a hit is? Like, doesn't everyone bang? Doesn't everyone tut? You know, like, and then that's when we start getting exposed, and my pops would be showing us, like, oh, look, here's some others, like, here's the Electric Boogaloos, like he's like, I'm like, my dad's like, I don't know these guys like that, but I seen them in breaking, you know, and he's like, I remember that, and I remember back in some parties, you know, seeing them, boom, boom, but yeah, so like this style right here, like that's dope that you said that, like that's like Ski 101, you know, like
that's Ski, definitely Ski 101. There's another dude that's from San Francisco, and he's like a true student of Ski. His name is Seach. Man, I love Seach, bro. Seach is dope.
Okay, I never heard of him. What is he like? Younger, older?
No, he's about Tetsu-G's age. He's a little older.
Okay, so
I don't know if you ever seen those videos of Skeeter Rabbit. Yeah.
Oh,
Seach used to fly ski to San Francisco to teach over there, and he used to take all kinds of classes. Man, Seach is dope.
All right, here we go. That first roll is hard, bro.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. See, but this is like what my pops would be like, yo, if you want to hop in the cypher, you gotta beat this.
Yeah. That's real, bro.
We'd be like, God damn, what the hell? And then here goes Junior Boogaloo. Motion sickness. Who knows about motion sickness? This is insane. Look at that. Don't. taking his time. Oh, no.
And you know he could still do them splits.
That's what I was about to say, bro. I was about to say, yo, here's another person who doesn't age. You know,
Yeah.
he like
Yeah,
I
no,
look
Junior.
older than him now. What the hell?
Yeah.
And look how he gets in
Bro,
this.
you know what pisses me off about Junior all the time? Every time I practice with him,
What?
he always tells me cause we always ask each other like, hey, what you been working on? Like, what you been practicing on? And he was always telling me, like, oh man, I just been practicing my waves and my book. And then, I'm always like, what about your tuts? He's like, nah, I don't practice those. It's like, they suck. I'm like, man, fuck you.
That's
You know
so,
how hard it is for me to tut?
bro.
This
It's so
motherfucker don't even
effortless.
practice.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Look at that. Stop. He's like, whoop. What?
Out of it. Bro.
This man's like 6 foot. Like he's not small.
Look at Cobra. Look at Cobra.
Boom. And look, and I remember like for my generation, it was hard to come by, and because a lot of your guys' battles took place in like 21 and over spots, or like so you couldn't really get into if you're young. But like seeing this and knowing who he is, knowing who he is just like amazing to see, because like look at the love that they have for it, man. Like look at you just feel it.
Oh, and this battle happened right after Aki came to LA and won B-Boy Summit.
Oh,
I don't know if you ever seen that where he beat, it was him versus Sally Sly in the final.
Was it in the park?
No. It was at some club, but it was Aki versus Sally Sly in the final, and Aki smoked everybody, bro. It was the B-Boy Summit after the one in Pasadena.
Okay, yeah, and not a lot of people from overseas were coming winning jams over here.
No,
there's been a lot of jams.
And Aki came with a vengeance, bro. Like he came and roasted everybody. Aki's name started like blowing up, bro. Like people started hearing about Aki. He got invited to the UK B-Boy champs, like back then. Like it was crazy, bro.
And you're saying that he's the youngster.
He's the young one out of all these dudes.
That's like it's like maybe on the other side, Bionic is Bionic or Legend young?
Legend is the youngest.
The youngest? That's crazy.
Yeah. Bro, I don't know if you know, but Legend's younger than me, right?
Nah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's another person that I feel like for sure in another episode, like I want to talk about, because he was another person back, like it's like a popular too, like where there were certain people that like you guys too, like you, Stay Smooth, everyone in MGF, like where it was like, damn, like these are the guys you have to reach, like for sure Legend,
definitely.
For sure Legend was one of the ones that was like, he was for sure, I feel like one of the top ones, like at that time, and that's crazy that he's even younger than you.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I wonder how old everyone actually is in this battle. But Aki is the youngster. What the hell? Look at him. He's like, I'm about to. When you fan yourself off before the round starts, you're in trouble. Okay? Understand this. If your opponent is fanning himself off before his round, yeah. And especially if it's Aki. But he calmed himself down right there. That timing, bro. Man, if you guys can see the little details,
Like a
and,
legend.
and you see how we were talking about earlier, like the battle format wasn't what it is yet, and you see that's why the rounds they're just kind of like going off. It's just kind of okay, your turn, your turn.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to pop it up, but Junior Boogaloo in an interview said recently on Infinite Force, I asked him, you know, just give us some backstories of that day. Like what happened. Was there anything that happened? And he said that this was at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
This is like 2 or 3 in the morning that they were ciphering the whole day, getting off because at these times, b-boy events that did have popping, they would have a room or like a closet where you could like, you know,
It'll
just
be the hallway.
exactly our hallway. Remember, that was the year you guys won. The prelims were in the hallway, but it wasn't like a diss or nothing. It just these jams don't know if poppers are gonna show up. Because a lot of our poppers were locked up or passed away. Like a lot of poppers who did it back in the day were like also gangsters, or also people who were into a different lifestyle. So, all right, that was the lifestyle. It wasn't just like you couldn't just be a square and show up to a house party and try to hit in someone's face. Well, like, nah, you better be about it. But yeah, that's crazy, man. Legend. So he's a young buck too. Like, okay, makes sense now.
That's why they have that energy, bro.
And that's why they're going out after each other. Like, whew. Yeah, the cameraman don't even know. He's like, let me record Dunock. This is how big breaking. This is how much more important breaking was at the time. Is that the cameraman knew that I need to record the b-boy reacting instead of the person dancing.
Dunock.
Yo, much respect to Dunock. Always show love to the poppers. Always. Always. What we got here? Ooh. Here we go.
Seems real, bro.
Yeah, he was the judge when me and Frantic did WBC. When I seen him pop, I was like, man.
That's Baby Booyah tribe right there.
Look at Bionic. Look at Bionic. Rock Force, man. His B-boy crew. Man, if y'all don't know, I knew Bionic as a top rocker before I didn't even know he popped. I just thought he was, because I was a B-boy too, so I just thought he was in Rock Force and he rocked. That's it. Because he's also a nasty rocker.
Nah, bro, Bionic Man used to be like when I first heard of Bionic Man, he was like Salah's nemesis, bro. It was like him and Salah always going at it. I remember one battle, he had like, I think he had pink hair or red hair. Bro, that shit was ill. I still bring it up to him till this day. Like, bro, Bionic Man.
Yo, Bionic, bro. If you see this, bro, we got to see a picture or a video. If it's out, if there's battles, then we're going to watch them.
Bro, he had pink hair, bro.
Hell yeah, Bionic. Bionic was another person at the time.
And right away with that Bay Area timing, bro.
And I want to say this, and this is like, whoever wants to debate it, let's debate it, all right? To be Asian and our culture at this time and to be respected was crazy. And I was a kid, so it's not like we were that way, but for sure, I already knew even as a kid that like you had to be twice as hard if you were gonna be white or Asian, And like look at here, like we have Polynesian or Filipino, we have all Japanese people, like, so this is not like just because, this is because they earned that respect to get there, to even, you did not enter a battle. It was, they say that you're the best. Okay, boom, you're coming. Like, that's what it was. So, like, I just want to give props to all, the Filipinos, the Polynesians, Japanese, Chinese, you know, everyone just, you could say outside of our culture or who are, you know, people who weren't directly born into it or whatever you want to say, because I don't use those other terminologies. But
Yeah.
it just like to me, I just got to say that, you know, because it's not just it was like they had a fight to be there. All right,
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
it
Hell
wasn't like,
yeah.
oh, okay, just come.
Let
Like
me,
no, you had a
let
fight
me
to be
tell
there.
you, let me tell you something, man. Bionic Man has earned his spot in this culture.
Mm.
I don't give a fuck what nobody says, bro. He's earned that spot. You know what I mean? Same
Peace,
thing.
brother.
Same thing with all those OGs in Japan. They've lived this shit, bro. You know, Junior Boogaloo lived it.
The list goes on, right?
Yeah, every like Boppin Andre lived it. Legend lived it. Everybody like, bro, they've earned it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Straight up. Much respect, much respect,
yeah,
and that's what we want people to understand is like, yes, you know, we're watching videos, boom, but we want the main focus here is to spread knowledge and awareness, you know,
yeah,
and that's the only reason, you know, because as you know, as you guys know too, Kid Boogie's a family man. He, you know, he could be doing other things, but the real reason why this is going on is because we want to just bring that awareness and just kind of a different perspective to the scene of like, you know, how we grew up or how we were raised and what we believe in, you know, because there's a lot of different beliefs and that's fine. This is just our perspective, you know, which
yeah,
for us isn't really out there, you know, as much. So yeah,
for sure, bro.
much respect. So we about to watch one of the hardest to do it, Bionic Man. Let's go. Woo. 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 Look at that.
That Bay Area coming, bro.
Hey, look at those hands. Look at those hands. Slice your ass.
Yeah.
Some who don't know about that Bay Area scene. These are Pinoy, man. They get down. Woo. Look at that. Look at those little baby rounds. This is swole.
He went twice. Wait.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Look at that. Watch what he does. Look, everybody. Look, everybody. Coming.
Oh, nasty.
The quality doesn't do it justice, but you can still see it. But if we could get this in HD. Woo. You guys out there, you want to know what makes it so dope? Is that it's his.
Yeah. The way he just set up, the way he just sets that up, bro, is crazy.
You know, like moves where these people, it was like you could actually say like back in those days, they're like, "This is my move," you know, like
Signature moves, bro. Like
yeah,
the
like
way
you don't
he
have to go
walk.
for 2 minutes because you're doing your stuff.
Yeah.
You're trying to not do shit that's been seen. And once again, this is perspective. We're not saying that it's wrong. We're just saying that this is what it was. This is how it was.
Yeah.
Look at that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Boy, you want to hit on me? He said, boy, you want to hit on me? And would you say Wild Cherries is like one of their big home? Like I know for sure Aki.
Wild Cherry, look, their OGs was Wild Cherry, and you met Yuki, right? Crazy Leg Yuki. So it's Wild Cherry, Yuki, Scene, Tetsu-G. There's a bunch of other ones that I don't really know the names because
Yeah,
they fell off, but these guys are the guys that stayed. But Tetsu-G was like Wild Cherry was the OG,
the
the
OG. Yeah,
OG
'cause
OG.
I heard Guchan, Aki, like one of the I see Aki one time. He was like, he's the boss, like he's the one,
Yeah,
like and
yeah,
that's also something I really appreciate about Japanese and like Asian culture is just that respect that they have.
bro.
Um,
They show love to their OGs. I
man,
can't say that about Americans, but
definitely agree, and you
yeah,
got to talk about the pluses and minuses on everything,
yeah,
and give respect when it's due, and
yeah,
that's something that has always inspired me to be like, oh hell, because over here you'll be made to seem like a weirdo if you give some respect to some OGs,
yeah, and that's
and
fucking dumb, bro.
so like sometimes you'll doubt yourself,
Yeah,
and it's always refreshing, and that's what makes what we do so dope is that we could take from each other's cultures and grow it into something that makes the world want to be a part of it.
yeah, hell yeah. No,
Hell yeah.
that's one thing that that's one of the things that I've learned, like me traveling to Japan all the time that I did. They basically taught me how to humble myself and how to start showing people respect. You know what I mean? Because back then, like, bro, I was,
I
you
remember
know,
Pasadena Double A. I remember those days, man. Come on, kid. I told you, dog. Me and Rock Smith was on it. We used to have the MGF DVD. That's what
yeah, remember them days?
with it, but we couldn't find it. But yeah, bro, I remember that. I
So like
remember.
me traveling to Japan, like they like especially Kei and Guchan and like Yuki and all them, like they basically taught me how to like humble my shit down and respect others. You know what I mean?
And you've had a huge impact on the scene. You and Slim, bro, like much love because like really like I know we did it over here on the 818 and the 818 side where like we just kind of had like an open environment, but like when the scene really started growing here in the States, like you and Slim really made it normal to mix and to just be together and more just accepting, because like you guys were like you could say like real street dancers going internationally, living the lifestyle and coming back home and not being like, oh well you're whack so you can't session with us, like
Yeah, yeah.
just everybody, and that's really it had a huge impact, and that's what changed a lot of stuff because there was only selective groups that were like that, and that really just opened the door even more. And it was like, okay, that was like the missing piece, especially here in LA. I felt like that we needed to really help the scene. The scene still needs a lot of work,
A
but
lot of work, bro. And I kind of feel like this is actually what we're talking about now is what needs to I think what needs to happen in order for the scene to grow out here is the youngsters need to give the older guys more respect
yep,
and actually learn from these dudes.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like not learn to try to change your style or not learn to try to do what they do, but learn and take knowledge to put into what you do already. And and fucking show respect to these old OGs, man. Because
yeah, yeah,
if it wasn't for them, I'm telling you,
yeah. And this is something too, like what's understood doesn't need to be explained. So what people like to do with words, right? They'll be like, "Oh, well, this person's a bad person, or this person." Like, we're not talking about them. We're
no,
talking about like obviously, we're talking about if someone's a good human being and they came before you, regardless if you think they're dope or not, pay some respect.
yeah,
Some respect.
yeah.
Like, don't try to switch it around and then like it's like they gotta respect us too. Humans got to respect humans, period. But if there's gonna
But see, here's the thing.
hmm
A lot of them would say like, oh, they gotta respect us too. Respect is earned.
yeah, yeah,
I've earned my respect with these OGs, bro. I'm probably like one of the very few that a lot of the OGs in LA respects.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean? And
Every
respect
circle,
is earned.
in every circle,
Yeah, and it's not demanded, bro. It's definitely not demanded. You gotta earn your respect, you
straight
know.
up.
But automatically, you have to give respect to the ones that paved the way for you to do what you do,
Yep,
no matter what.
straight up. I shit. Yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's what LA needs, bro. Like not enough young dancers give respect to the OGs.
yeah.
It
And this is why
sucks.
a lot of the rest of
And,
the world is like actually, I was talking to I think Jiggy the other day, right? And
Yeah,
uh, he was someone at 8 years old. He was already killing. He started, and you could already say probably like by 10 or 11, he was already killing it. And one thing about him is he gives mad respect to his teachers, and the
yeah,
people that came before him, and it's just very like a proud thing, and it reminds me of how it used to be even when I was coming up.
yeah,
And the reason that we don't have a young scene, like the reason why, okay, my opinion, right? My opinion is um, the reason why you have all these other countries and you can see a whole jam with like 50 kids who are poppers is because there is that that structure where it's like, okay, we're gonna give respect. There's gonna
yeah,
be this. You don't want to say like, yeah, there's gonna just be a respect factor, and because of that respect, the results come. And you could see how good they get fast. And that's the thing is like when people are like, how they get so good? Like they practice, motherfuckers. Like they practice, they learn, they listen. Like, and when
yeah.
I say they, I mean the world. I'm not talking
That's
about
but
person.
see, that's the key word. They listen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? A lot of poppers, especially the new generation in LA, they just want to do their own thing. They want to be different.
yeah, yeah. Bro. That's
This is the shit that kills me nowadays, right? And let me see if you agree with me.
okay.
A lot of these so-called poppers nowadays
Uh huh.
are getting away with the dumbest shit, right? Because they're calling themselves artists. I'm
Okay.
an artist. I'm not a popper. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
And don't enter a popping battle.
Yeah.
It's
What
point
are you saying?
blank. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy, bro. Like a lot of them are hella offbeat,
Mhm.
and the when they lose or when they don't make it past the prelims, they ask one of the judges or me, for example, oh, how come I didn't make it past the prelims? Oh, you weren't popping.
Yeah.
Oh, but I was trying to express my artistic side, and like, okay, do that when you do a show. Like, don't do that at a popping battle.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay to be free and to be creative and all that, but you got to stay along the rules. There's rules in popping.
Hmm. And this is where the disconnect happens, I think, where this is why they try not to show love is because like, right, they get told this, right? And then instead of listening and being able, and because here in America, to give perspective to the rest of the world, everyone's on defense. There's a lot of hatred here outside of just the scene, right? So when you come in the scene, regardless if it's supposed to be a safe place or whatever,
Yeah,
you still have this armor on, like where you're like you have to be defensive. So when like people get told this right away, they feel it's a personal attack, you know.
yeah,
But especially in this day of age, we're talking about paying respect, homage to culture and the way it's supposed to be done. This is where someone like Kid Boogie's coming from, and this is what happened at our last event too, with like the battle between Diesel and Mega Man. It was not this exact scenario like what we're talking about, but in the case where like Diesel's a monster, and so is Mega Man, and the
yeah,
judges felt like Diesel did better, but he didn't stay within what popping is, right? The
yeah,
traditional sense of the word, and that's what we need to come up as leaders in the community and figure out what is this other category because it exists, but you cannot be offended when someone who respects the culture, respects their OGs, stops you when you ask them because they're not going up to you and be like, "Hey, you know what you need to work on, right?"
yeah. We're not.
They're coming up to, and this is something that I'm like, oh man, like I understand why, but don't do it because it's hard for like when you just judge and now someone's like, why did I lose? And they're looking at you, and very rarely, especially in the States, it's like they're not asking because they want to know, they're asking because they want to go back and talk shit about
Yeah,
how they should have won.
yeah.
And because
How
if
you're
you
how you're not a good judge.
or you're not a good judge or you hate them and they've come up with some story, where like
Yeah,
in other places I've experienced this as well, where it's like, oh man, you know what? You're when you tut, you gotta be a little bit less sloppy, more patient. It's like, okay, thank you. Like what drill should I do? What do you recommend? And it's kind of even for me takes me back. I'm like, oh shit, you want to know? Where over
that's
here,
that's actually a lot of the new generation. That's actually a better question to ask somebody. instead of asking somebody like, oh, how come I didn't make it? Or how come I lost? Instead of asking that, what do I need to do to get better?
Yes.
You know, okay, now you can work on this, work on that, work on that. If you like the advice, take it, man, run it. You know, if you don't, it's okay. Just move on.
Yep. Know the power of words. Know how you
Yeah.
realize how you ask the question. You know, there's a difference between saying, why did I lose? Or what do I need to do to get better? You know,
Yeah, exactly.
don't think all these judges are dummies, right? Don't think that, you know, a lot of young dancers are like, I'm so much smarter than a lot of these old school guys because I went to college or I did this. Like, no, like don't think that that necessarily translates into what we do inside this culture. You know, like these people, regardless of the outside world wants to say it or not, they have doctorates, they have PhDs in this. You know, they've done it for, you know, a longer period of time that a doctor would have to go to school for it to be a doctor, or a lawyer would have to go to school for it to be a lawyer. So put some respect and don't think that, you know, you're so much smarter because someone doesn't trade words with you or exchanges over the internet with you, right?
Yeah.
Like show some respect and, you know, like same thing other way around. Like we said, like we're not saying to just let someone disrespect you because they're older than you, but
No,
you know, use common
definitely
sense.
not.
Use common sense.
Yeah.
Back into the battle. Let's go.
Like,
Let's go. We'll go to the end of Andre. Oh. Back to what we said earlier. See, he was about to get up normal. He said, it's in my blood. I got to do something to get up. Like, look, he's about to get up normal. Knee slide. Shoop, shoop, push back. What's up? We ain't lying. We know what we talking about.
Wow, bro.
Flipping styles.
Yeah.
Yo, Wild Cherries might be the longest
count. He's clean.
Clean. Those little wrist hit on your ass. Uh-oh.
Pulls him.
I want to know who the MC was.
Yeah, me too.
Bro, look at that. Boom, stop. Bro,
he went here, then he went here, then he switched the hat.
Like staying within the concept the whole round. Like,
yeah.
And you think he's done with the hat now? Look at those kicks.
Those are 1996, bro.
And this isn't a crowd full of people who are there to watch popping. Understand this.
They're not.
Is that legend?
I can yell, bro. Legend.
Don't get legend. The songs you like.
Bro. Yeah, the energy that Legend used to bring in the ciphers, bro, was massive.
Bro, I'm
His
telling
energy is crazy good.
you used to have to be good to get in the cipher, man, because you had
Yeah.
people like you guys who were like you guys weren't. Let me tell you this, y'all motherfuckers weren't letting people in. Like if you came with some bullshit, bro, like you would feel it. You would like you people. I remember growing up seeing people mid pop stop and just walk out the cipher and
I've
walk
seen that
like
too.
just keep walking and you guys not even like the elders not even acknowledge like, just like yep like go and then
Just go
someone
home
just
and
right
pray.
okay like this is how it was like the legend was one of those people like for sure people would stop ciphering and that's when you
Yeah,
see
no, bro. One thing that I've always appreciated about and respected about Legend is I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Legend made his name through ciphers. He never entered battles or contests. The only contest that he entered was Old School Night in Japan, and he won that long time ago.
that's hard.
Yeah, but bro, he's never entered battles. If look at his history,
Ooh,
bro.
I never
He
thought of it
made
that way. I
he
never
made his
thought of it that
name.
way.
He got famous through ciphering, to just dancing.
And you see why I never thought of it that way? Because I seen a lot of these battles in the ciphers, and that was what poppers did to battle. So like
Mhm.
back to earlier, like it was just like me being a fish in water. Like I that's all I knew. So it was like that. Yeah, that's where all the battles took place. But I never thought of it in the way of like he never entered. Yeah, you're right. He never really entered
Yeah,
the way we know a jam to be now. Like, and
yeah,
he's a legend.
indeed.
He's a legend, bro. That's dope.
Yeah,
That's hard, man. And also, yeah, if you don't know who he is, for sure look him up. That I doubt it.
yeah, for sure.
But his music too, like that's
Yeah,
a whole nother thing.
yeah. Tetsu. Cool.
Guys, this is 2 a.m. This is like 2, 3 in the morning. They were dancing all day.
Yeah, that's too rabbit, bro.
And something else that made this battle so dope was that a lot of the times back in these days too, the DJs scratched over a lot of the music.
Yeah,
The DJs were still there to do their thing. And so to see a battle without the DJ scratching, like over the music constantly, was like super fresh too. You're like, damn, this DJ's letting it rock.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
He's coming straight Bay Area on his ass.
He is, bro.
That's crazy. I haven't seen him pop like this in a long time.
Bro, you know how many times they tell Bionic Man to bring back his old shit and put it with his new?
I tell Frantic this all the time, bro.
Bro, I
Crazy.
keep telling Bionic, like, bro, do that shit you used to do, but do it in a new way, the way you dance now.
I
You
hate
know?
I hate that these fools have so many like dope signature moves that they don't do anymore ever. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, bro, like you could still just do, but that's kind of I guess a part of their greatness. But
Fuck
I
that. Let me
feel you
have it.
100%.
I'll do it.
That's what we talking about. Yo, bro, you gonna like? I'll do that shit. I'll inherit. I'll inherit it.
Nah, another thing too, bro, is Bionic Man. For me, Bionic Man was one of the probably I know Junior does it, but Bionic Man does it. How do I say? How do I say? He's probably one of the very few that right now is combining the EB style with the Bay Area shit.
Mm.
And you know how now like everybody wants to separate shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've always told him, I'm like, bro, like why don't you mix that Bay Area timing with a Boogaloo step, you know what I mean? Like, and he's like, oh, okay. And bro, when he does that shit, it's crazy. It's crazy good.
Yeah, like there's a reason why these guys are representing USA in this battle because this really for sure was like you could say our our best. Like we're sending at this time like even though there was other dope ass dancers who might have not been as known, like okay, you could still like battle and get smoked by any of these, especially Dre.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know Dre's the OG, but Bionic was definitely someone else too. Where I remember
Yeah.
Frantic would always be there. Are certain foods Frantic would be training for. Like, all right, Frantic, if you want to make, because Frantic didn't make it past prelims at a lot of places, or he'll lose it in the first round, still doing his shit. It was like, okay, like you got to, bro. If you can't be Bionic, you ain't winning the jam. And that's the thing, like he could do this Bay Area stuff, but he was still look at that, like concept, like well, I guess that's a Bay Area thing too. Just like for us, it was there was a lot of also like separation of shit. So like
Yeah.
Bionic Man be able to do that style, but still mix like tuts and all that was like
Yeah.
that fusion is crazy when he is doing it. Like right here, he's like doing that, like that's.
The other thing that I freaking love about Bionic Man back then too, and even now, is his flow, bro. Just the way he's flowing through the whole thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like
even now, like the way he flows, like with his solos, is nuts.
Big time, bro.
You know, he never breaks that flow.
Never,
I fucking
never
respect that.
Yeah, there's like no skip or like it's just everything's just so smooth and like if he's running out, it's just he's done. Like boom, he knows when. That's the thing too. Like your generation, like it's something that timing because even back in the day, their sets were dope, but sometimes the ending would be just so random. You know, it'd be like you know, like damn, and like your generation is really. You know the generation that made it to like you know like for sure that flow everything just has to connect and you got to end it like you know the best back in the day did it but it became more where like everyone had to do it now because it was
I mean for us like for Machine Gun Funk like a lot of our OGs like Skeeter Rabbit used to always say like you gotta finish strong you know what I mean like you can't just finish like that you gotta finish strong.
Yep, same with mine.
You gotta let a motherfucker know you just roasted him. You know, and it's like, okay, that's how we gotta finish.
Yep. No, that's and I think you could see who was brought up that way. You know, you could see it in what how they do everything, you know, but freaking Bionic. Woo, psych! You psyched me out right there. I watched this a bunch of times. No.
Hold on.
Battle tactics. Which the people don't exist no more. Watch me.
The Bay Area stuff.
And people were not doing this. It wasn't cool to do this.
Yeah, this was before it became a trend.
Look at that. Ready.
Cobra. Clean.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Cross One for making this happen, man.
Yeah.
Big reason why Poppers push forward.
Cool, yeah.
Ooh, they would have hit a routine right there.
That would have been crazy, bro, back then.
That Bionic is good, no?
That's Legend.
Legend. Damn, this quality. Yeah, at least we can see the bodies though. No effing there. What's that?
Yo, come on, Andre. You gotta do something.
Dude, that's dope too. Like Aki's like, no, I want you. I want you to respond
Yeah.
around. That's the respect we're talking about right there. Like that was done straight. Like, no, I don't want the little homies. I know that I'm young, but I want to like say that you gave me a round. You know, like
Yeah.
that's how I interpret it. You know. I mean, okay. Those are some
like Air Maxes or something.
What's up to those? Uh-oh. He still has a satchel on the whole time too.
Andre's killing me, bro.
Once again, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning after dancing all day. Go try it out. Go try it out, guys and girls. Go try it out. And it was probably, it was funny. It was probably like them 8 and like maybe 1 or 2 other people that were the only ones ciphering with each other the whole day.
Yeah.
It wasn't a jam where everyone's giving, like, it was them probably giving hundreds of rounds that day. And then like how legendary it is for us. Let's see, info. Okay, don't call none of these numbers, man. Look at that. This is how you communicated. You gotta send out the bat signal. Like, okay, this will go on a tape. Someone's gonna see it. That Hotmail. Okay.
That's the Hotmail France.
That is fresh.
That's crazy.
What you think, man? You remember that? You remember that one?
Yeah, man. I remember biting. I remember just trying to dance like everybody else in there. The one I wanted to dance like in that whole video was Aki, bro.
Aki.
Because remember I told you, like, at that time, Aki was like, he was killing everybody.
Yeah.
You know? Legend was there too, but Aki was just, it was something about Aki.
Yeah. You know? See, you were more their peers, you know? Like, you were there, like, in the same areas. Like, for me, it's like I was a kid, like, watching you guys, but like I said, it was a respecting. So, like, even though we were welcomed, it was still like, nah, I gotta earn it before I get in there. Like, you know,
yeah.
It wasn't like a sad thing. It was like something we looked forward to. This is what made us practice so hard. Like, man, people don't understand. Like, me and Rock Swift, we sacrificed having our own beds and our own rooms just so we can have a space to dance. You know?
Yeah, no, this is one thing, like, with what you're saying. This is one thing that Skeeter Rabbit told me, like, a long time ago, right? He always used to say, like, you're gonna like me for telling you the no. He said you're gonna hate me now for telling you the truth, but you're gonna like me later. No, what did he say? He said something along the lines where if he's nice to me now, I like him now.
Yeah.
But if he tells me the truth, I'm gonna hate him, and in the end, I'm gonna be like, oh, he was looking out for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I can't remember his exact words, but he was always like, yeah, you gotta practice, you gotta do this, no, that shit was whack. Do this, do that. And I feel like nowadays we can't do that with anybody.
Yeah, it's a lot harder because I feel like once again, just because of how the world is too, it's also like softened people up. And not that shit wasn't happening back then, but when we didn't have social media and we didn't have these things that constantly fill up our mind with like negative things going on everywhere, it was a lot easier to take that criticism in a way where it's like you know, look at today, like how much he still has an effect on you, and his teachings and what he's done has, like, you know, you have passed it along, like, many others, because Skeeter Rabbit was someone that touched the world. Um, it's why it is the way it is, and it's so a lot of people wonder like why is it different? Why these are the differences. This is what we're explaining on what we do like right
Yeah,
now.
it was more of a back then, or back when I started dancing, it was more of a like you had to earn your shit.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
see it
you
like a
you had
martial
to put your you
I
had to put your name on the line every time you went out. You know what I mean? You, people don't do that nowadays. You just got to be nice and fake, and you'll be popular.
Yeah, and for sure, like, and the reason I compare it to martial arts is because exactly what you explained. Like, it did have that element of like, like when we say battle, like jams weren't a safe place, And I'm not saying that's what needs to continue. What I'm saying is that um, there was no other option. There's options now. So even like as I sometimes I gotta tell OGs, it's like there's options now, and this is why people are picking, and that's their right to do it. But if you're gonna wonder and sit and act like it's some crazy equation of why there's this disconnect, it's like no, it's not. It's pretty simple. It's like
Yeah,
this is the method and the path these people took, and these are the results. And this is the method and path
yeah,
that these new people are taking, and look at the results. Like that's really what it is, and it comes down to because I was raised on that way too, where it's like I remember times me and Rock Swift would have to be in a room while like everyone's like they're doing their thing, everyone's adults, so they're over there doing their thing, and then me and Rocks would just be having to hit, would just do hits, and like as soon as we started to just get down, I'm like, yo, we didn't tell you to get down, so like you're sloppy, you got to work on your hits, like
yeah,
so hit. That's what I need you to do right now. Like, and be like, oh dang, okay. And then we're just like there, like hitting, and then it'll be like the next thing, like, yo, it's like, are my hits good? And it's like, yeah, but your footwork, man, like you gotta like just get your, and it was that like that sense of like they never allowed us to be satisfied. I think that's kind of like uh
yeah,
what happens, and now there's a lot of like instead of waiting for the criticism, it's like, yo, I'm dope, huh? Like,
yeah.
yo, that was dope, huh? Like, remember, like we said earlier, the power of language, how you ask something. Like, so it's like, what do you tell someone that says that? You say, nah, you're not dope. And then it's like, oh my God, man, they're so messed up. Like, they don't understand my approach to the dance. They
He's
don't,
so negative.
he's so negative, like that. And it's like, okay, but if you went to your college professor and you misspelled words and or like whatever your project wasn't what it needed to be, and they critiqued you on it, you're not like, oh, this person. No, it's just like you don't see this art form the way some of us see it, and for us,
Yeah,
this is it is an art form, but when you say that there is structure and there is uh certain rituals and things that make it what it is that we have to honor and respect.
yeah, exactly, bro. There's a reason why this is popping.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
And that's
There-
what I really get from what you say too, like because back to the artist thing, like I come more from a place where a lot of people are in that mentality, like even frantic and like, but they do say this. I say I'm an artist as well, but I'm also a popper, a pop
Yeah,
rocker, a street dancer, a lot of different things. And whatever I do say I am, I honor and respect it and the way it was done. So
yeah,
yes, I'm an artist, but when I decide to pop, I'm gonna bring my approach, but I'm gonna respect what it is. And
yeah.
then if
But
I don't,
bring your approach to what popping is. You know what I mean?
yes, yes. And if I don't, I'm not gonna be mad with the results.
Yeah,
I'm gonna, and this is something I talked to D Soul about. Anybody that like I really build with, and like, cause like I said, I feel like maybe now I'm getting to the age where I could say I have students, but especially before, I never really call people my students, even if I did teach them something, or even if I did help them along the line. But a lot of the people who do, like, and I use D Soul for an example, because that man stands on his beliefs and he accepts the outcome.
yeah,
This is why D Soul is gonna grow too in what we do, and it's something that Frantic had to learn along the line as well because he had a difficult time with this. Where like
I had to learn it the hard way though.
yeah, trust, super hard way, and he fought and then
Yeah,
stuck to his guns.
yeah,
Still paid respect to the culture, but he never was like, oh man, like
Yeah.
this. It was just like, no, I'm gonna keep being me. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
being me, and that's fine too. But don't expect a pat on the back for doing something different. Don't think that now, okay, you did it different, but this person who's respecting the culture and kind of like, using the techniques that make popping and making them their own, like that's dope. Because there's other people who just they'll use a technique to start, do whatever the fuck they want, and then finish with a technique. And it's like,
Yeah.
bro, you popped for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like you got down, you freestyled, because people don't know that was something that existed too. Like you freestyled,
Yeah.
but did you pop? Or
No.
did you bug? Or there's
Yeah.
different, and that's something that I guess that like the people who are leaders in the community we have to really think like what would you call something different than just popping? And it's a hard thing to talk about. It's gonna take a lot of conversations because this is a culture that like we can't just up and change it just because now time is like, okay, so now like in 20 years popping won't even be called popping, it'll be called blanket. We just say, oh,
Yeah.
it's blanket, like it's not even what it is. So like we can't do that with art forms. If you don't do that with ballet, if you don't do that with like any of like think about all these things that are established in society. Like why do that with our culture? Why treat street dance
Yeah.
or anything like that different than you would modern art, or different than you would
Yeah.
classical, like when they like how come they didn't rename classical music? How come that didn't, like no, they made another genre. They made a whole nother something else came.
Yeah.
They made rock and roll, and they made like,
Yeah.
so okay, then they, and there is different dances, like there's people who like, so go into that realm and do it, and see, or go enter a b-boy battle and just crump and see what happens.
Yeah. Exactly.
Go enter a crump battle and just tut and see what
Yeah.
happens.
See what they tell you. See
Yeah,
if that's okay.
like do a arm swing and then start tutting and then see if no.
But see that's where my frustration comes from. Is like I feel like our culture popping, our dance, is the only dance that's, oh, that's acceptable.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
nah. Like, bro, I've seen battles where dudes start popping, they start whacking, go back into popping, and it's acceptable. And I'm just like, what the fuck, really?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that? Nah, that's not what the dance is. Like, come on.
And I had to learn this the hard way, and when I say that is because I was someone, and okay, not even the hard way, because I always, regardless if I won or lost, I was cool with it. Like, it was just like, yeah, I'm Devious from the 818, WizKids Wrecking Crew. Like, this is how I get down. It wasn't like, hey, what could I do to get better? Or like, what do I, or, why did I lose? Actually, better that. Like, why did I lose? Like, no, it was
Yeah,
like, yeah, I lost because I went on the ground and I did my own thing. I didn't really try to pop. I was being me. I was being original. And it
yeah,
was like, and this is why a lot of times, like when I face people like even like yourself or people who really were students of the culture and really paid that, learn those styles, like learn the styles within what we do. I would lose, and when I was young and I wasn't as educated on what we do, and I was just worried about being a participant, it didn't make sense. I was like, well, what the hell? Like I was original, or like, yeah, like I was original. Like what? Like, but were you popping with your
yeah.
originality? Were you? And Frantic would always tell me this because I'm a passionate person, and Frantic would listen to me, and then he'd just be like, but bro, you were hella sloppy. Like, but bro, like, you have to hit. Like, you gotta pop. Like, and I'm like, bro, I hit. I was hitting. He's like, but I wasn't accepting it. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, fool, you hit for like the first 10 seconds, but as a brother, it's a lot harder to give that because he knows that. Especially, I was a troubled youth, so it was just he was just happy to have me and Rock Swift were both like that. So it was just like we just need these kids to keep doing this because they're gonna go down the wrong path.
yeah,
But now looking at it, this is why I'm able to relate to like what you're saying because I was also guilty of that because my era and the people, because people don't know that I'm younger than what I am, like really is the era that really tried to change what popping is, and
mm,
I understand that every generation wants to add their own thing to it, but there's ways to go about it. And
Yeah.
that's why I noticed that like right away what you're saying. Like, yeah, like for sure, man. Like you guys just have open mind, understand that there's a reason why we have a name to it, you know, and
Yeah.
you know, everyone's gonna have their different approach. Don't expect every judge to judge it the same way, but understand who you're dealing with, like, and respect it. If I know I'm gonna have Kid Boogie, let me at least do the homework to know how Kid Boogie judges, and let me understand how he thinks to be like,
Listen.
okay, instead of trying to change who you are and be like, yo,
Yeah.
Kid Boogie, you gotta change the way you think, bro, because
Well, here's like my philosophy on this whole thing, right? If you love and respect the dance the way it should be, the dance is gonna love and respect you back. But if you don't, you're gonna see it. Trust me.
that's true. That's very true because not one person is bigger than what this whole thing actually is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, this is for those that really, and we'll get into it, you know, about history and stuff in another episode, and a lot of people have been lately, but this is a culture. This isn't just a TikTok dance or just something like a trend. No,
Yeah.
this is something that a group of people have used to live their life a certain way. So respect the people who have decided to do that, and instead of trying to change them, understand. And if you agree or don't, that's fine. But I don't need to take it upon myself to let the world know I disagree with Kid Boogie or I disagree with this person.
Yeah.
And now use that as the reason why I'm not going to where I'm going. Because guess what? These same people had roadblocks. These same people that you're talking about had to get through adversity. And how did they make it? They you know, yes, at a time period, there is a point in time where you do get to a certain point where you earn this respect that people will allow you to get certain opportunities a lot faster than you might have in the beginning. But not for everybody, but there's a lot of people who've earned that. They've earned that. They've earned those stripes. So like, don't be jealous. Let's push each other up. Like that's just all it is. Like everyone wants to climb the ladder and nobody wants to hold it. So that's why we keep falling.
Yeah.
You know, like let's hold the ladder for people to make it. And guess what? It's gonna keep going, and that's what the scene does. When you hold that ladder, it might take a while. For some people, it might be fast. For other people, it might be longer. But if you truly love this, the time period won't matter because you're gonna do it for life.
Exactly. This is your life. This is my life.
This is my life.
You know what I mean? So if you really love and respect this culture and this dance, you know, you just gotta be patient. It's gonna come to you.
Straight up, and hey, that says it all right there. This is Outspoken. You know what it is.
Watching. See you next time.
Let's get it.